Alright, now so now I'll be able to sew this. Can you see? I have a part that is bent, and then I have this part still coming out. So now the next thing I need to do is just to notch my cuff. Alright, I go ahead and then I notch this part just like this, okay, such that it relaxes properly. Then I cut off whatever excess I have by the side. All of this is just to ensure that the cuff is laying flat very well, okay. So I do the same thing with this as well. This base here, I notch just the side, I notch this part, then I can now flip it inside out. All right, I turn it around, okay. Now you could decide to make your cuff curvy, right? Probably curve here and then here. It's actually your choice, it is what you want, but then I like mine to be this straight. So here also I turn this inside out, and then my cuff is ready, okay. So now this is for excuse me, this for the first hand and this for the second hand. So let's keep this. Okay, now coming to the main sleeve, all right, to the sleeve of the shirt. Okay, I told us that by the center back here I'm going to slit when I cut my fabric. So now from here I measure up. Everything I have here is about 4.5. So from this base here I measure my what, my 4.5, and then I mark it here. So it is between here and here that I will now slit. All right, so now I slit here just like this. All right, so now having slitted this, all right, I'm going to show us one, then we will sew the other ourselves. Now this is the right side of my fabric. I'm going to get like a straight strip, a matching strip, all right, of about 12 inches or thereabout, just to turn this particular place. Let me show us what I'm talking about. So I said I cut something like a straight strip that is going to turn all the way like this. Can you see that this is my slit? So it's going to turn it like all the way like this up to this end. So something that will turn it. So now I'm going to sew it there, but then let's move to the sewing machine, all right, to see how the sewing looks like. Okay, now so I've been able to cut my, what's it called, my slits, right? So now looking at this part, I'm going to be starting from the wider part. Do you understand? Now this is my right side, okay. I flip over because I'm going to be sewing from the wrong side to the right side. So I fix my strip of fabric, and then the right side of the strip is actually facing the wrong side, such that by the time I turn it around, it's going to fall on the right side. So I pick my machine, I sew it just like this, okay. I sew it up to the end of that slit that we have, all right. I just sew it all the way, I sew it all the way down, okay. Now by the time I sew it there, now looking at this sharp point, I'm just going to go ahead and then I turn it around, okay. I turn around just like this, I turn it around, I keep turning, okay. I keep turning, all right. I keep turning, okay. So now by the time I turn just like that, all right, then I turn it till on the straight part, so I sew till the end. Now it's just like I am sewing that curved part with a straight strip of fabric. So now I'm just going to go ahead and then I sew it up to the end part of my sleeve, okay. Now so now when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and then I cut off the excess fabric that I have, right. Now before that, now looking at that sharp point that we had a V, right, I'm just going to go, I can see that it's not relaxing, so I'll just notch that part such that it relaxes. Do you understand? So now you notch all parts to ensure that that middle is actually doing what is actually relaxing. So I cut off my thread, and then um all right, then I flip it over to the right side. Now before then, let me just cut off this excess fabric. Then I flip it over to the right side, and then um I just turn like this. All right, I turn like that first and then second. So now I sew it directly on top. I'll sew it directly on top, and then I sew just by the side, covering up that sewn edge. So now you just sew it just closer. All right, now by the time you turn from the wrong side to the right side, you just use the rest of the fabric to close it just like this. And then in that way, because you have notched that center point, that slit becomes straight. However, it is not straight. So now this is just the closing for the female. This sorry, the slit closing. The slit closing for the male is different from the slit closing of the female. It's the same slitting, but the sewing, do you understand? For male, you don't do this tiny something. There's a kind of overlap, and then it's wider about 1 inch. But for female, you can do something tiny like this. Although it's not like it is wrong, and the wider one is wrong for female, but that female things has to be. So that's just that about that. So now I'm going to sew this like till the end of my sleeve. So now when I'm done sewing, so now let me just go ahead and then I sew it all the way down just like this. Please, I like us to follow this video diligently. Please, you're actually going to get it. Do you understand? I'm just trying to show us how to sew the shirt sleeve and then the cuff. You understand? If it is long sleeve. Okay, now looking at this now, it's just looking like a rounded edge something, right? So it's just like this. So now we'll be able to close up the slit of our shirt sleeve. Now looking at this part, is not good the way it's pointed like this. So you flip out to the other side, and then you sew something off like a dart. So you start from that sharp point, just like you curve it like this, and then you seal it off just to be about just like how you sew darts now. So you just seal it up to about 0.5 inches. So you slit it, you stitch it out just like this, just like the way I am doing it. So now once you are done with that, sorry, let me just stitch this very well. So you back stitch as much as you like. Sorry, this place is slow, there's no light, so I have to make use of the manual machine, so please just bear with me. All right, now so with this I've been able to close that sharp edge. Do you understand? So now this is now what our slit actually looks like. That other sharp points have gone inside. Now to fix my cuff, all right, I'm going to go ahead now and then I join the sides together. Okay, I join the side of the sleeve, I join it with my sewing allowance. Now I kept ½ inch. That's actually what I want. So now I'm going to sew up to the end. All right, sorry about that. So I'm going to sew to the end, like the end of my of my sleeve. So now after I must have finished sewing it, I'm going to bring it out. Then I'm going to start fixing my cuff. All right, so now I flip it outside. Meanwhile, let me take my cuff, my prepared cuff. Okay, sorry. So now after taking my prepared cuff, I'm going to sew it from my wrong side. Okay, I'll be sewing it now from the wrong side to the right side, but meanwhile let me flip it inside out. Okay, so now from here, now this is my right side. I'm just going to place it just like this. All right, now so now having joined the side, then I pick my cuff. All right, I said that I'm going to fix from the wrong side to the right side. All right, so now I picked here then I put it down like this, and then I stitch it, right? I stitch all the way till I exhaust everything on the what's it called, on the sleeve. So I keep sewing, just like this. You sew gradually. I sew it. I sew on half inch. Don't forget that the other parts that I sew there, I'm going to use it to cover up at the end of the day. Now, we said that the sleeve is more than the cuff. All right, so now whatever excess you have, you just go ahead and then you pleat it, because the sleeve originally is more like longer, is in excess than the cuff. So you pleat whatever excess you have, just like this, so that such that it accommodates the what's it called, the cuff. Do you understand? Now if you check the back of any shirt sleeve, like a long sleeve, you will see that by the wrist at the back there are pleats. So that is just the idea of that. And then the reason is because such that there is a free flow of your wrist around that area. So now I'm going to pleat the rest that I have excuse me, into my shirt cuff. Then I sew it off just like this. So I don't know, this thing is just giving me issue. That's the problem with it. So now I just sew it off. All right, I ensure that my cuff is covering up everything that is left on that sleeve. All right, so now I just go ahead, I stitch to the end, and then I back stitch it. That's just basically what I have. Then I turn it around. Okay, right, so I'm done. So now I go ahead, I turn it around, and then I use this to cover up just like this. Okay, then I seal it off to the end. All right, I just use what is left to cover up just like that, and then I have it finished up. All right, now so this is just what I have at the end of the day. Okay, so I use this, I'll just cover it up just like this. Okay, just to cover it up like this. Then I put it on the sewing machine. I sew this all the way down. Can you see? Just to cover up, do you understand? And then that was the reason for that that half inch that I folded in at first. So you sew it off just like this. Okay, you sew everything, you sew it. All right, you sew it, and then we'll finish up to close the edge. Please ensure that you cover up the edges very well. You cover it up so that something is not actually flying out, because if it's actually flying out, then you've not done the right thing. So now I'm going to sew it. I'll sew it like this, and then I back stitch properly. All right. So now after I'm done with this, I'll just sew it. I'm going to do the second one. Now this is the first one. I want you to do both sleeve yourself. So now here we go. I'm just going to go ahead. I would attach this to my sleeve, my bodies, and then we'll wear it. I come back to show us the final outcome. So now you just attach this crown to your bodies. So this is basically how to make the shirt sleeve. Now this is also applicable to male, but except that the closing of the slits for female is different for the closing of slits of the male. I hope you've been able to benefit from this class. Thank you.